You know what I wanted to ask you about is when that script came across your desk and you were going to play Tanto, was there any reservation? Because I could tell you when I met Chris, which I said when you came in here, was when the book came out, Benghazi became this highly politicized event, which it shouldn't have been. Was there any like reservation of, I don't want to alienate my audience. I want to make movies that everyone loves.
No, I didn't even think about it, to be honest. I mean, to me, when it came across my noticing of it, it was that it was a great story. You know, that it was a war story. It was a story about human resilience. It was a story about people surviving a really, really difficult event. And that's what resonated for me. You know, I know that there were many people that were more interested in the politics of it, that were interested in, you know, politicizing the event, using the event for something. For me, it was just a human story, and it was an opportunity to tell a really human story about some guys that were in a really difficult situation. And so that's it. I never thought about the other stuff until, like, you know, later, and then because of you know, the timing of how it came out and around the election and stuff, people talked about how it was responsible for Trump getting elected and whatever, man. Like, for me, I just go back to my interest was in telling a human story and looking at the effects of these events on these men. That's all I really cared about.
And it shows how much of a professional you are and how hard, I'll be honest, I admired you even more after that, because I got sucked. I remember I was on the Den of Thieves set with you. I came just to visit you that one day. That was cool, dude. That was it was the last scene. You guys are duking it. You and Gerard Butler are duking. That was awesome. But I remember telling you, and I don't know if you remember this, we were talking before I had to go to the airport, and I was like, hey, you know, my hypocrisy goes only, because you said, are you going to vote for Trump? I said, hey, politics, my hypocrisy goes only so far, because I hate politics. Yeah. And I realized at that time, to me, maybe I did, but like, man, me being political and getting into this, which I hate politics, I don't get into it. I'm not a political person. I'm not on either side. And I did. I thought, I was like, am I fucking up Pablo's career? Because no. Here I am out here doing the media, and it's all right-wing media. Yeah. It's like, man, I stopped doing it. I literally quit. I stopped, cut it out, because I wanted to ask you, did it have an effect later on? Me getting out there, I did think about it. It's like, man, Pablo put his ass on the line. He did a great job. The whole group did a fantastic. The movie's going to resonate forever because it's that good. I do. I honestly believe it's that good. What am I doing out here? I hate politics. Why am I out here? And I remember calling everybody that I would do news. I said, I'm not doing news anymore. And they all hate me now, which is fine, because I hate news anyway. But I really did feel bad, man. I was like, fuck, I got to quit doing this. So tell me, did it hurt you at all?
0%. That's all your shit.
That's a good way of putting it.
That's all your shit. And I appreciate it. I appreciate that you're thinking about that, but no, not at all. Not at all. You know, if anything, I would say 13 hours, you know, exposed me to a new audience, you know.
Sure.
And from my perspective, you know, we've spoken about this before, you know. I'm an actor. I'm interested in humanity, right? Humanity runs across all stripes. Like, I don't look at myself as a Democrat or a Republican. I don't care. It's not that I don't care about politics. All of us are inherently political in some way or another.
Absolutely.
It's that, for me, humanity transcends politics, right? And the fact that I was able to lend my voice to telling your story, regardless of what the political consequences were of that, that for me was a win, right? Because I was able to connect with you. I was able to meet you, become your friend, and the fact that we were people who came from different political backgrounds or might have different political views, the fact that we were able to be friends and able to connect across what's a pretty massive divide in this country, that's important to me, right? And it's important to me to connect with audiences that are of all stripes and political backgrounds. I don't want to be making projects for people who are on the left.
Yeah.
I don't want to be making projects for people who are on the right. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in being, I don't want to have a career as just the military guy who makes projects for right-wing people. I don't want to be a Hollywood fucking nut job who just makes.
I love the way you put it. Yeah.
No, like I have no interest in any of that. I'm an artist. I believe in human beings, and I believe in the threads that connect us all. I don't believe in this dialectic between left and right, Democrat, Republican. Like, fuck that shit. This country is so divided now. There's so much animosity and so much mistrust between people and between parties that we got to do something about this. If this country's going to have a future as a united fucking states of America, then we have to learn how to talk to each other. We have to learn how to not be so reactionary and not be so black and white or red and blue or whatever the fuck it is. Right?
Yeah, I also think that the profession you chose more than anything, when people pay whatever it is to go to a movie theater and see a movie, whether it's a comedy, whether it's a war movie, they want to escape from all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So it sometimes does turn people off when actors or directors are over the top political 24/7. Like, I could tell you, I want to go see the Spinal Tap sequel. I'm going to go see it. Am I a little turned off that Rob Reiner's to tweet about politics every 5 seconds? Truthfully, yes, a little bit, because I don't want to think about that, because we all are inundated with it so much on social media, TV, arguments with family members. You know what I mean? If I walk into your movie or I see the new Halo, I want to escape from all that.
Yeah. I believe that there are themes and conversations that are far more universal than politics. Like one of the things I took away from 13 Hours and it's continued to be important for me is this idea of veteran affairs. And so for me, it's the reason I did Halo, right? I did Halo because it was an opportunity for me to have a conversation with our country, with our society, about why we fight, about what the cost of being a hero is, right? These are all things that started in 13 Hours, or ideas that became prevalent for me in 13 Hours, right? And it's a conversation I can continue to be interested in and continue to want to engage in. But it's not a conversation for a left-wing audience. It's not a conversation for a right-wing audience. It's not a conversation for any one group. It's a conversation that affects all of us, right?
Yeah. It does. Because government policy, foreign policy, and I'm glad you saw that, because that was the movie. It did transcend all that. That's why it's still out there. That's why it's still on all. You can view it on Netflix every once, and then you can view it on Paramount. You can view it everywhere, because you guys did an excellent job, which is what we wanted. Don't put the politics in it. Just put what happened in it, and then your guys' just take on it all, and the brotherhood you got, and the families that you got. Even though I'm quick, I'm not as fast as that rabbit. That still kind of offends me a little bit in the movie when I'm talking to my wife and just showing that video where I'm humping. Like, it only takes me 2 seconds. It takes me at least 5. You can ask her now, man. It's because I'm getting old.
Buddy is the best 3 seconds of her life.
But that's where I said all those little things like that. That's what it's like downrange. That's what it's not. Oh my gosh, who got elected? We don't give 2 shits. At least I did.